Welcome, welcome. Before we get started, I want to say thank you so much for taking time from working away in your business. I know you're really busy doing the things to be able to serve your clients, be operational, and that you are joining us today working on your business, getting those insights, tips, one advanced move that you can immediately implement to raise the bar as far as the level of services that you offer and the quality of clients that you work with. Today's topic is build advisory services into your accounting firm to increase your revenue and boost your clients' success. Okay, vision to reality. When John F. Kennedy first announced that we were going to be the first nation to go ahead and land on the moon, plant our flag there, he didn't know how to do that. In fact, so many of the materials necessary to safely get astronauts to the moon and back weren't even invented yet. But the reason that he was able to have this vision and know that it would become a reality is because he had a team of advisors. And that is what's possible when you step into the advisory role for your firm, is that whatever that moonshot is for your clients, that really important thing that's meaningful for them, that motivates them, that moves them forward, that they know will make a difference, they know that you're on their team and you will be able to help them to achieve that very thing. If you find that your clients see you more as a technician, they don't really understand your expertise, you're very generous with your clients, you're so client-centered and freely give away information because you don't know how to charge for it or formally bring this into your firm, and advisory services are some that interest you, but you're not sure how to be able to educate your clients about it, you feel like they're busy, they don't want more meetings with you, or how to market that, then you are absolutely in the right place. Steve, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Lauren, I'd love to. So, hi, my name's Steve Fogelman. As you can see by the last name, Lauren and I are related. We are life partners and business partners. Um, I'm a therapist turned business coach, and I'm going to be working the chat, the questions. And if you have any questions, please go ahead and put them into the chat, and I'll be sure to get them to Lauren so that she can answer them during our presentation. Lauren, back to you.
Thank you. A little bit about me, if you're meeting me for the first time, is that I'm a sports psychologist turned business coach. What I found is that our education gave us all the theories, the know-how to be able to do what we do really, really well. And it also prepared us to be an employee working for somebody else instead of a business owner or an employer, because that there are three gaps. The very first one is how to be able to network, communicate your value, and really stand out so people understand why they ought to move forward with you instead of going with some other option. Number two is how to price your services when you don't want to connect your fees to time any longer. And the third one is how to be able to enroll clients based on the value instead of being price competitive so that you're working with a high level client, and to be able to do this in a way that feels genuine and authentic for you without being salesy, because let's just face it, nobody wants to be sold to, and most firm owners don't enjoy the selling part. So those are three things that I found that firm owners could benefit from: is communicating value, being able to price your services without connecting it to your time any longer, and then how to enroll clients without feeling salesy. And as you can see, that is my #1 Amazon bestseller, The Success Solution. And I have been listed by HubSpot as one of the top 22 business coaches. Okay, the golden rule. This is where, and we've learned this from a very young age, it's about you before me. So this is about how can you do something for someone else before you focus on yourself. And by doing that, this applies to advisory services, and it's really ideal for client-centered firm owners. For what you want to do is really focus on your clients first. What's important to them? What's top of mind? What's something that's a challenge that they're having that would be meaningful to be able to remove it? Or something aspirational that if they could hit that milestone, that would be a certain level of achievement and really feel like all the hard work that they put in has paid off. So you want to focus on your clients first and what's top of mind for them. And by doing that, you want to then ask great questions. This isn't about the transactions, or this isn't about the reports or anything like that. This is about understanding what are the things that are meaningful to your clients and what will make a difference for them. And you can do that by asking great questions. And the next part is listening. And the reason I put listening in here is because we don't always have great listening skills, but the other part of it is that people crave to be seen and heard. They want to be understood. They want to know that you get them. And that is by really paying attention to what they're saying, and not just what they're saying, but how they're saying it, so that you can communicate back in a way that's similar to them. And that way, there's no miscommunications, there's no maybe expectations that weren't really clear. This gets everybody on the same page. So the golden rule is you before them, put your clients and understand what's important to them before you focus on what you need. Ask great questions that really dig into what's meaningful for them. And I'm going to say the meaningful part is business as well as personal. And that is very, very true for business owners across the board. It's not just about the business side of things, but there are meaningful things that are personal. And sometimes those things actually have greater value if you can help them achieve that result. And the last part is listening, and really listening well to what they're saying and how they're saying it, so that when there's a response or communication, it avoids having a miscommunication or there being a gap. What we're going to cover today is integrate into your firm, and then we're going to move into the Kickstart strategy, and we're going to wrap up with Rise Up as a valued advisor. I will absolutely give you as much as I possibly can today in the short period that we have together. If you're interested in talking further, wanting to know how to implement this into your firm, then I will show you how to do it as we wrap up.
Well, Lauren, what are the steps to increase the value of a client?
This is right from the Raise Your Rates formula that I take firm owners through in order to be able to raise the bar as far as the level of services that they offer, the quality clients, and the prices that they can charge. So I'm going to just give you a quick overview of the 5 steps, because even if you take the essence of them, you will start to see a difference in your firm. The very first one is high value clients, because let's face it, in the beginning, you are accepting everybody who breathes and willing to pay your fees. That means you find yourself working with a wide range of clients, from low value to high value. What we want to do is understand what are the qualities and what's important to those high value clients, because that differs from clients at the other end of the spectrum, those low value clients. So we want to get a better understanding about what are the things that make up a high value client. And then that goes right into number 2, which is communicate your value. Once you understand the qualities, the makeup of those high value clients, then we can get the right words to be able to grab their attention, attract them to us, and want to know more. And this applies to having the right words for your website, your Pro Advisor profile, social media posts, when you're at a network meeting and you have that 30 seconds to share about your business, or somebody asks you just, what do? You have the right words to be able to grab their attention. And as a result of that, you stand out as opposed to blend in and sound like everybody else that's doing what you do. And then the third thing is package your services. I'm looking at the websites of accounting firms all the time. And I'll go to the services page and I'll see this long a la carte laundry list of all the different services that you're able to offer. I'm going to let you know your clients absolutely need AR, AP, reconciliations, classified correctly, all of their different transactions, but they might not really understand what it means or why it matters. What we want to do is get away from that long list of a la carte services and start packaging your services or bundling different things together that are outcome focused, that meet the needs of your clients based on where they are in their business growth and journey. So you want to think about, what are the things that maybe smaller businesses need, and medium-sized businesses, and then enterprise businesses, and that we're able to package things together that are more outcome focused and really differentiates depending on where your client is in their journey. So that goes then right into number 4, which is value pricing. Value pricing is different than the traditional hourly rate or fixed fee, because hourly rate and fixed fees are focusing on what's important to you, which is your time, your cost, and maybe a little bit of profit margin. Value pricing is looking at things from what's valuable from your client's perspective. So it's a different perspective. We want to focus on pricing based on the value that the client receives because they engage your services, instead of looking at what you care about, which is your time, your cost, and a little bit of profit margin. And by doing that, you're actually able to earn so much more without any additional time spent working when you make the transition to value pricing. And then number 5 is consultation mastery. If you find that you're having consults with potential new clients, or maybe you want to meet with your current clients and raise their fees, but you've avoided having that conversation because it feels awkward or possibly confrontational, you don't want the pushback, then you want to have what I call a value conversation, where you're asking great questions that really highlights your expertise and how you're going to be able to make things different for them. As a result of that, at the end of the conversation, they naturally ask, how does this work? So if you don't like the sales part, you don't want to be pushy or pressuring someone into working with you, then you want to have a value conversation where they just naturally want to know how to take that next step forward with you. Anyway, those are the 5 steps of the Raise Your Rates formula: high value clients, communicate your value, which we're taking a deep dive into today, package your services, value pricing, and consultation mastery.
Well, Lauren, that's great. We're going to go ahead and get started with the first thing, which is integrate into your firm. But before we do that, we have our first poll question. Do you offer advisory services? It's something I offer clients and I get paid for. It's something I don't know how to charge for. It's in the works, or I'm still gathering information about how it works. So once again, do you offer advisory services? Something I offer clients and get paid for. Something I don't know how to charge for. It's in the works. I'm still gathering information about how that works. And like I mentioned before, this is a great time. If you do have a question, go ahead and put it into the chat, and I'll be sure to get those questions over to Lauren. And looks like we've got just a few
I think
seconds
that we can
left.
go ahead and close the poll,
Let's
Steve.
Great. Okay. So it's something I offer clients and I get paid for is 27%. It's something I don't know how to charge for is 9%. It's in the works is 27%. Still gathering information about how it works is 36%.
Perfect.
Yeah. Oops, went the wrong way.
Oh, thank
So
you for letting
Lauren,
me know that. Oh, there we
yeah,
go.
yeah, we have a hot topic for today. We regularly speak to accounting professionals. They want to offer the advisory services, but they don't know how to do it. And why is that so important for their practices?
The thing to think about is that you care about the functions that you do, the tasks, your workflow, being able to get stuff done, and having the systems in place to do it efficiently. But that is not necessarily what your clients value most about what you do for them. It's similar to when you're looking at buying a house. If I'm the builder, I care about the 10,000 nails, the materials, whether I'm using contract workers or W-2s, and if I'm able to finish the build on time. Whereas if I am the home buyer, I don't care about the 10,000 nails. I care about getting the keys to the house and signing the contract to be able to take home ownership and moving into my house for that very first time. So one of the things, the reason that this is important, because so often firm owners are selling the 10,000 nails. the functions that you're doing for your clients, when what your clients really want is the home ownership and how the work you do is going to make a difference for them. So we need to change the conversation away from the functions and into the benefits of having accurate, up-to-date financials, having the best tax strategy possible, and really being able to get a handle on that and how that applies to their business. 60% of accounting professionals now offer advisory services in some capacity or another. So this is something that is changing the industry. It's moving more and more in this direction. There are many reasons for that. We'll go into that a little bit more in section 3, but really more and more firm owners at this point are offering advisory services, and I want to be able to really encourage you to step up in that way also.
Lauren, let's get on the same page. How do you define advisory services?
Well, Intuit actually had a roundtable of accounting professionals, and what they came up with as a working definition, which I absolutely love because it's simplistic, is that you are recognizing what your clients' challenges are. You're offering them various strategies to create opportunities for growth. That is really the essence of advisory services. You're aware of your clients' challenges, you're able to give them strategies, and that creates new opportunities of growth for your clients. Something to think about is that you might already be offering advisory services, but you just didn't realize it because you're so client-centered and you know that you can help your clients make a difference. You want to answer their questions. So if you find that you are actually already educating your clients about the financials because they're just not as financially savvy as they ought to be, or possibly that you have someone talking with you, maybe a new consult, and that consult turned into an unintended pick your brain session where you gave away a lot of information because you wanted to help. They asked the questions and maybe you wanted to impress them with how smart you were. Or you have someone call you, you actually picked up the phone, and that 5-minute call became a 30-minute meeting. You find that you're giving away a lot of information, but you're never charging for it, whether it's through that pick your brain session or that 5-minute call that became a 30-minute meeting, or maybe you're just having meetings with your clients, but you never invoice for that at all. And as a result of that, you realize there's so much that you're doing for your clients that's beyond the scope of what they engaged you for, and you just aren't charging for that. So if any of those things apply to you, then you're probably already offering advisory services. We just need to now formalize it so you get compensated for the information that you're already providing.
Oh, Lauren, you've coached accounting professionals who are technicians. What are some things you have that would help your clients when they're first adding these advisory services?
Well, I think to recognize that it's not like you make a decision today and then you make this change in your firm tomorrow. This is a process. And the first thing that happens is the mindset part of it. Maybe we have a thought or an idea, but it gets overwhelming because it feels like it's very, very complicated to bring this into your firm, or you have more questions now than you have answers, or maybe you have some doubt that comes up of, can I really do that? Am I qualified? Are my clients going to want this because they don't really want to meet with me now? Why would they want to have advisory meetings with me? So we have all of these thoughts that come up. Steve, are there any other thoughts that you found come up maybe that cause someone to want to maybe hold back on offering the advisory services?
You kind of mentioned quite a few of them. One of them is that sometimes they give away information for free because they don't know how to charge for it.
Mm-hmm. I think also, as you're talking about it, what I'm thinking of is that maybe you really don't know what advisory services means, or you need the step-by-step process. And once someone gave that to you, then you would be able to implement it. So those are some of the mindset things that come up that keep us from actually having this as a formal offer in our firm. So once you're able to get past that, you're ready to start doing this, then you need the strategy of what does that look like? How does this maybe pair up with other things that you're already doing to your clients? or how do you talk about it, or enroll new clients into the advisory services. So that's part of the 30,000-foot view, the strategy of how to start implementing this. And then the tactical steps are, what do meetings look like? What do you focus on? How often are they? How long are meetings? Who's in charge of the meeting agenda? So those are some of the things to think about. But the main thing that happens is that you first have to connect with the value of you stepping up in this way before you can expect anybody else to recognize that value of your expertise and what you bring to the table. So doing so requires courage, and the confidence comes later once you start to see the results and how it makes a difference, not only for your clients, but for you too.
Well, Lauren, what qualifies somebody to actually do these advisory services?
Okay, there's two aspects to this, is that qualifications. This is more where you love giving your clients information, educating them, helping them, sharing how the financials can be applied to their business so they're making better decisions moving forward and they're able to have stronger financial health in their business. If you already love doing that, then I just want to say you are qualified. The other part to that is a little bit contrarian is you do not need any additional credentials in order to add advisory services into your firm. Because how often have you seen someone with more years in the field or maybe more qualifications than you have, and you've looked at that person's work and scratched your head and wondered, why didn't they do this? Or their stuff is not that great. They missed out on this, or they made that mistake. I don't understand why. And as a result of that, they might have the credentials, but you have actually more know-how, better way of doing things. And once again, I want to say people can have so many alphabets behind their name, but it doesn't mean that they're really effective at what they do or that they are better than you are. So I wanted to say you do not need any additional formal qualifications in order to start offering your clients advisory services. And if your client's centered, you probably already are doing it. So once again, this is about what you do need to do is connect with your value of sharing information and helping your clients to be able to understand the financials and how it applies to their business. And by doing that, then clients will be able to see why they ought to move forward with you in this direction also. So a little contrarian, however, you don't need any additional credentials. With Susan, she is very, very dedicated to her clients, but she had a factory style firm where she was working with many, many clients because she was undercharging for her services. She didn't recognize the full value of what she brought to the table because she focused more on the processes of what she was doing, since she's very systems oriented and structured. And because of that, she was just burning out. Let's just face it, working 7 days a week, 70 hours a week, week in, week out, just isn't sustainable. So we started to apply the Raise Your Rates formula. And I want to bring your attention to cleanup number one. She had someone come to her that was looking for having their financials updated and cleaned up. She would have originally charged them $1,500 for the project because she would have multiplied how many hours she thought it was by her hourly rate, and she undercharged 100% of the time for projects. What she did is she reached out to me. We had a quick conversation about value from the client's perspective, what questions to be asking so that they would see the value, how to be able to discuss the investment in the project, and to be able to get paid upfront. Doing this really made her very nervous. She was shaking in her boots when she met with her clients and had this conversation. But because it is a system that I showed her and laid out for her, she was just able to do step one, step two, step three. She followed the formula. And as a result of that, they actually said yes, which meant that she made an additional $6,400 in pure profit, no additional time spent working, and they paid her upfront. That gave her insight that clients weren't quite as price sensitive as she thought that they were. She started raising her fees with some current clients. She was charging more for projects. As a result, what you can see is she brought an additional $56,000 in about 9 months, but also she was no longer burned out because she wasn't needing to work 7 days a week, 70 hours a week any longer. She was able to actually cut back to 3 days a week, 20 hours a week, because she was working with a higher quality client and they were paying her higher fees. So just think about how that would make a difference for you and your firm if you were able to apply that as well.
Well, we have our a next poll question coming up, but before we do that, we're going to be looking at the Kickstart strategy and we'll do our poll question. So, what's your confidence level as an advisor? I'm highly confident, I'm interested, but need to know more. I do value pricing and I don't feel qualified. So, once again, what's your confidence level as an advisor? I'm highly confident, I'm interested, but I need to know more. I'm already doing value pricing, or I don't feel qualified. And once again, like I said, if you have any poll questions, this will be a great time to put them into the chat,
Mhm.
and I'll be sure to get those over to you, Lauren. And right
And
now,
And
go
one of
ahead.
the comments that Antoinette said about offering advisory services and whether you're qualified or not, she was saying
Uh-huh.
that the clients look for you to advise them. And sometimes they want you to advise them even when it's out of your scope or your field. So clients do have questions. And a lot of times when it comes to financials, they're going to be looking to you for that information. The other thing that Antoinette comes off of that also is, how many times have any of you known that you could help clients with achieving something or fixing something in their firm, and they didn't realize that you could do that, so they hired an outside consultant? And when you actually see what they paid that consultant, you are just shaking your head because you know you could have helped them with that, probably even better than the consultant did, for a fraction of the fees that that client paid. So that's something I see over and over again also, is that clients just don't realize that you can do this with them. And so they look outside for getting that support. And as a result of that, maybe they're not getting the best solution because you have a closer relationship already with your clients. They just don't recognize that you can do this for them. Okay,
Well,
Steve, you want to
sure.
share those results?
Yeah, what's your confidence level as an advisor? Highly confident, 42%. I'm interested, but I need to know more, 58%. Value pricing is 0%, and I don't feel qualified is 0%. Okay. So, what's motivating accounting professionals to actually add the advisory services to their firm?
Oh, I'm sure that you and I can have a conversation about this all day long,
I'm
but
sure we could.
I want
Yep.
to just hear from others in the chat. What do you feel is motivating firm owners to be able to move in this direction and start offering advisory services? And would love for you to share that in the chat. But what I see is that technology is even the playing field. Okay, Per Alaf said that's where the juice is offering advisory services. I love that. Thank you for sharing. And once again, technology is evening the playing field because that clients have so many more options and resources available now than they ever had before. They can go offshore, they can do it themselves, they don't need to go with someone regionally, they can go with someone anywhere in the globe. And as a result of that, if you continue to do things as they've always been done, which is focusing simply on the compliance side, you will eventually go the same path as Blockbuster, Kodak, and travel agents. And think about that. When Priceline first came on the scene, that it changed the whole way that people were able to travel. You no longer needed to go through a middle person, that travel agent, to get your airline tickets booked or your hotel reservations for that destination you were going through. You could just go on Priceline and do it all yourself. And because of that, the travel agents industry has totally changed. It's not wiped out, but it's very vastly reduced. So I want to just say, because of the technology, that's what's going on here as well. And as a result of that, we need to make this shift into offering advisory services, because this is going to be what differentiates you from all those other options that people now have in order to be able to have their numbers up to date, to be able to get their financials done or their taxes done. So some of the other things is Dita was saying there's a decrease in demand for tax preparation with DIY solutions. I absolutely agree. Christian's saying clients are thirsty for insights or projections. There's more value looking forward than looking back. Raphael said business process is getting more complex with time constraints, commutes, regulations, new tech, etc. It's hard for owners to keep up. I agree with all those reasons as why you want to move in the direction of offering advisory services. But the other thing that happens as you move in this direction is you get better at communicating your firm's value. You start working with a higher quality client. Moving this direction also highlights your expertise as opposed to your technical skills. And also it increases the lifetime value of a client. Clients are stickier. They stay with you longer when you're helping them show how to apply the numbers to their business. The other
Well,
thing, go ahead, Steve, please. I'm jumping the gun because I'm just so amped up.
so many business owners lack insight about their financials, and that impacts their cash flow and the overall financial health of their business. What can accounting professionals do to assist their clients with the financials?
So one of the things I want to go ahead and put in the chat right now is, how do your clients benefit from advisory services? And would love to hear from you. What have you seen as the benefits because of the fact that your clients are having conversations with you? And please share that in the chat. But let's talk about the numbers tell a story. I am positive that you already know what I'm talking about as soon as you saw this slide. And bottom line is you are the perfect person. You are ideally qualified, whether you have the credentials or not, to be able to interpret the numbers for your clients and how that applies to your business. So one of the things about moving forward in this is so often traditionally accounting tax has been after the fact. It's been based on the compliance side of things. But there's so much available to you now as far as tools and resources, information, that you can take those after the fact numbers and pair them with future focused goals that matter to your clients. So you can identify the KPIs, the key performance indicators that really matter to your clients, and how to apply them, how to be able to look at things so they're doing better job costing and maybe not underbidding on a job in their proposals, or how to be able to maybe achieve something even faster than what they expected because of the fact that they have you as that financial resource, and you can help with improving their AR, being able to raise their profit margin, maybe budget for something, or be able to forecast so that they can make better decisions moving forward. So those are some of the things to think about. Is you are the perfect person to interpret the numbers in their business and show them how to apply that. And part of what I have seen is that there are so many business owners, even business owners that have really solid 6- and 7-figure businesses, and they've never considered the financials when moving forward with their business. And you know that once you can get your hands on their books and really get them up to where they need to be, get some other things in place, be able to show them how this applies to their taxes as well, that it makes a world of difference, where they can maybe focus now on more rapid business growth and business development, or they can go ahead and reinvest, or some other things that are meaningful for them. But it is so important what you do, and we need to bring that front and center. So one of the things that Linda said as far as how clients benefit from advisory services is that they're dependent on having offsite staff as technicians. So the other thing is, anybody else, please, what are some of the things that you've been able to see as a result of working with your clients? Christian was saying they can make investment decisions. It allows them to focus on their aspirations, where they can go beyond the compliance. Absolutely.
Well, what is the added value to the client from meeting with you and receiving the advisory services?
Well, one of the added values that Per Olav said is growth and higher value for exit strategies.
Yep.
Because as you know, some of the things you need to look at for an exit strategy is going to be different than how you're looking at things when a business is in their growth mode. So some of the things to be able to think about when you're offering advisory services is recognizing that you work with a lot of various businesses. Sometimes it's a wide variety in the same vertical or the same industry. Other times it's just a wide variety of different industries. And because of that, you know a lot of information, and you might be able to take information that really helped someone else and be able to show this other client how to be able to apply that, or how this could work for them without giving away any trade secrets and maintaining confidentiality of all your clients. So you have so many business insights. The other thing about moving this direction is that it really highlights your expertise and your years in the industry, or how you approach something, or maybe it's taken all of your life experience and how you work with your clients to be able to help them move forward with things that are deeply mattering to them. So you're able to now bring your experience, whether it's in the accounting field or not, and be able to apply that to the way that you work with your clients. And the other part of it is that your clients really have everybody coming to them with questions, but who do they go to? And so now they can go to you when they have their questions, and that way you can answer their immediate questions so they can continue moving forward at a faster rate than if they were to figure things out on their own. But also you can answer their questions about how to apply the financials in order to achieve their growth, or to be able to increase the value of their business because they're looking at their exit strategy. And some of the things that matter to your clients that I have here, and I would love for you to be able to answer that also, is that, clients care about making informed business decisions, and maybe they just didn't know how to do that before or have those insights. I put in the chat, what questions do clients reach out to you about regarding their financials? Would love to see that. But some of the other things are, you can advise them on how to increase profits, improve their cash flow, growth strategy, or maybe even avoid some of those costly mistakes. So those are some of the things to think about that all would fall under that advisory domain, and would love to hear from you in the chat. What are some of the questions that clients reach out to you for? With Bill, when we first started working together, he's very, very involved in his community. He is what I call a servant leader, because he loves to help out other businesses, especially he has a special place for those not-for-profits, and he gives generously. But when he was going to all those functions and network meetings, and he was introducing himself, he was focusing on the functions of what he did, the 10,000 nails. And what we did is we changed how he spoke about what he did and why it matters. So instead of talking about the 10,000 nails, he started talking about the dream of home ownership. He started focusing on how the particular problems that his clients had, how he was qualified to be able to help them with that, educating about some of the things that would resolve those issues, and also what would be the difference, or what would be possible if clients no longer had those issues. So once again, instead of focusing on the 10,000 nails, he started to change his message to the dream of home ownership. He is a accounting professional, so he was no longer working on the workflow and the functions. He was now talking about the benefits of engaging his firm's services, meeting with him, applying the numbers in order to be able to achieve the goals that were important to his clients.
Well, next we're going to be looking at rising up as a valued advisor. Well, we have our next poll question. Who would you offer advisory services to? All my clients, a select few of my clients, or I'm really unsure. Once again, who would you offer advisory services to? All my clients, a few of my clients, or select few of my clients, or I'm unsure. And Lauren, I know we've had lots of comments going through, so we even got one coming up there. Going through the chat. Do you want to just take one of those?
You know what, Christian, I know that you're here. Do you mind unmuting yourself for a moment?
Sure.
Thank you. So we've been talking more and more about advisory services in your firm and how to be able to really be front and center with that. What are some of the things that you've seen as you've been bringing this more and more into your firm and really leading with that?
Um, I find that my clients, I mean, if they could just start with advisory services, I think a lot of them would. Us as bookkeepers or CPAs understand the importance of kind of walking before you or crawling before you can walk. Meaning we've got to have good books in place. But there are so many business owners that are just thirsty for more than just information. Like nobody wants to know how they did for second quarter. They're far more interested in, can I bring in another PM? I do a lot of construction clients. What is my cash flow going to be for these big projects that that I want to start? So to me, that's truly that there's so much value in the advisory services that people could care less about whether or not their reconciliations are done. They have no interest in it. But when you can just, show maybe some graphs or just information that takes where they are and shows them where they can be, that's when their eyes go from being glazed over with the boring stuff to getting really excited and passionate about what they can achieve.
And the other part that I want to ask you is, as we've been doing this and we've been building it into your packages and you're starting to lead with this, how did that affect the prices that you charge for your clients?
I used to have sad pricing is what I used to be. Some people used to do billable hours. I had sad pricing, and pricing that didn't move for years, right? But this is where people, I presented to a new client probably 3 or 4 weeks ago, and it was cleanup. It was some advisory. I kind of dangled that in front of them, and I gave him a price that I never would have even dreamed of 6 months ago, a year ago. He had one word for me: done. And I thought, oh, I didn't charge you enough. That was the problem. But when you can help them have this vision of what you can provide and where it can lead them, they are just so excited. They can't pay you fast enough.
And
Nice.
it really hasn't changed the work that you're doing for them. It's more about how you're positioning it. Is that true?
It is. I mean, yes. I mean that, going back to your analogy of 10,000 nails, well, the 10,000 nails are still getting done. But I'm not showing them the nails. I'm showing them the beautiful front door. I'm showing, so it's things are not different. It's just their lens is different. And so it doesn't cost me more. It doesn't, I'm not spending necessarily more time on it or anything else, but the package looks far different to them.
Christian, I so appreciate this. Wasn't planned or anything like that. Letting me call you out on the spot to just have this conversation. So thank you so much.
Great.
Happy to
Let's
do
go
it.
ahead and, thank you, Christian. Let's go ahead and get back into our poll. So who would you offer advisory services to? All my clients, 38%. A select few of my clients, 46%. I'm unsure is 15%.
And I just want to say, if anybody else has any questions coming up or anything like that, please feel free to let us know.
And Lauren, before we get into the final section where you're going to be discussing advisory session blueprint, I know we have a free resource. Why don't you put that? Oh, you just put it in the chat. And why don't you talk a little bit about it?
Absolutely. So if you feel like you've been offering advisory services, but maybe you know that there's room for improvement, you want to have a little bit more guidelines because it'll help you to maybe start implementing it and you need a little bit more structure. Either way, then please go and grab my free resource. It's at businesssuccesssolution.com/advisor. ADVISOR. And once again, it's advisory meeting guidelines. Whether you're already implementing advisory services or you're thinking about it and you can use some more of the how-tos, this is going to help give you some things and maybe spark some new ideas to be able to raise the bar as to how you're offering those advisory meetings. So once again, businesssuccesssolution.com/advisor, and the link is in the chat.
Well, Lauren, what are some of the tactical things that they need to do as far as the advisory services go?
Well, the very first thing I believe is understanding what is a priority for your client, what is of value to them, similar to what Christian was mentioning, and asking questions about what is it that you want to achieve? What does this matter? How can you tell if our work together was successful? And how would this make a difference for you? What will you be able to do that you can't do now? So really get an idea as to what it is that they're aiming for, being able to know what is some of the metrics that would help them understand whether they achieved it or not, or maybe need to make some adjustments along the way to be able to eventually hit those numbers. And that is something that is top of mind. It goes back with the golden rule of you before me and focuses on what matters to them very, very much. The next thing you want to look at is focusing on the results. And there's a couple ways to be able to think about that. When we're looking at results, not from your perspective of the fact that you can gather this data and you have this information, you can give them the additional reports. What you want to focus on is the results that they care about. And they care about whether it's fast. So how quickly can we get this done? And can we maybe even move up the timeline to get it done before I think that I can? So can it be easy? Can I reach out to you as that advisor to be able to get insights and make better decisions quicker instead of having to get lost in research and then figure out on my own which might be the best way going forward? Can I actually exceed my monetary expectations and make more money than I envisioned or planned because of the fact that we're making decisions based on the numbers and financials? And by working with you, can I maybe avoid some costly mistakes to be able to maybe take care of some redundancies, look at some things that I think are good ideas, but when you work the numbers don't really work out. This is a better way to avoid underbidding on jobs and proposals. So they want to make sure that they're able to, the things that matter to them is that maybe it's faster than expected. It's easy because they can reach out to you and have meetings with you and consult with you. You're able to show them how to be able to increase their top line or their bottom line. You're able to show them how to avoid some costly mistakes, and also that they're actually now making decisions based on the numbers instead of without the numbers. So they're making better decisions in their business.
Well, Lauren, what are some of the topics to discuss during these advisory meetings?
Well, once again, if you find that you have specific topics that you talk to your clients about, would love to hear that in the chat. I went ahead and put what specific topics would your clients benefit from? But some things just off the top of my mind are talking with them about collections, improving their AR, putting some systems in place, automating some that's now manual, reducing write-offs. How much do your clients write off every single year because of the fact that they don't have a system in place? So that's one thing to look at. Forecasting for expansion, so they're able to maybe do that build out a year sooner than expected, which is what one of my clients was able to do with her client when she was moving into that advisory capacity. Budgeting, in order to maybe add a valued team member so that they can get some things off of their plate onto somebody else in order to focus on business development. Or maybe they want to bring in a salesperson to be able to generate new leads, but they don't want to do all that themselves. Possibly a near-term strategic plan because there's a shorter-term goal that is really important to them that they want to achieve, but they need some strategy on how to be able to do that. And then tax planning, how to be able to maybe reduce their tax bill, to be able to lower it by being able to invest in their business in some way, or possibly put that away for their own personal financials, but how to be able to have a better tax plan as well as a tax strategy and avoid those unexpected tax surprises that happen to too many people and never get a tax notice again. So those are some of the things that would be particular topics to meet with clients about that would be very valuable to them. And I am sure there are a host of others. The other thing to look at is to be able to get away from, as I mentioned, that long list of a la carte services and put your services, including advisory services, into bundles, because now it becomes part of how you work with your clients and you build it into the way that you're working with them, what you offer them, and it has a set amount of meetings so that there's some structure and boundaries as well. The silver package would be for the clients that have either a startup business or a smaller business and really just want the basics in order to be able to file their taxes on time, be up to date, have accurate information, and that might include maybe 1 or 2 advisory meetings per year. The gold package would be for your clients who have a more mature business. Maybe they've been in business for 3 years or more. They already have clients. They are looking to grow. They want to make better decisions as they're moving forward with their business evolution. And knowing that they can reach out to you for that information, those insights will help them to have a financially strong business. And so you're meeting with them more frequently to be able to help them move forward in a very strategic way regarding the financials and their growth plan. And then we have the third package, which is the diamond package. And this is for clients that maybe have multiple businesses, multiple locations. They possibly have real estate investments as well. And they realize that they're at the point where they need an outsourced accounting firm, possibly fractional CFO, and they're looking for you because things are more complex in their business model. And they recognize that having you to be able to give them insights on the financials will help them to move forward and make things more profitable and also avoid some costly mistakes. So those are some of the things to think about, is that you have a silver package, a gold, and a diamond. It meets the needs of your different clients depending on where they are in their business journey. And you are able to bring in advisory services into all of these. But the other part that happens is it creates some structure and scope for you, where it outlines how often you meet, how long the meetings might be, how they can communicate with you. And this way you have some boundaries. So you don't have someone any longer reaching out to you Sunday at 8:15 in the evening, expecting you to drop everything and immediately reply to them and answering their questions. It teaches them what to expect from you, as well as what you can expect from them and how to work well together for a long-term relationship. When you're moving this direction, you're able to add in the advisory services, you can communicate the value, you brought it into your packages, then you're actually able to earn 2 to 3 times more than what you're currently charging your clients. This doesn't mean that you're doing any additional work. It means that you just shifted what the focus is, because now they see you as that consultant helping to achieve home ownership instead of the technician that's actually pounding in the 10,000 nails. So once again, we want to move you away from being seen as a technician that is just doing the data entry and the reports and the compliance side, and pairing what you do as far as the compliance side with the future focus side, which is the advisory, because the more that you can focus on the advisory side, highlights your value. They see you as an expert. As a result, you can charge 2 to 3 times more than when they see you as that technician. With Lillian, when we first connected, she charged, I think, like $1,500 max for a cleanup project, because she was focused on the 10,000 nails, the technical parts of what she was doing. And what we did is we really started to unpack the value of what she's doing and how to be able to communicate that to new clients coming to her, as well as to her current clients. Because she was able to have the right words now to position herself as an advisor, she realized that doing cleanup projects weren't a standalone product. They were an important part for being able to help her clients achieve an important milestone for them. They needed to have accurate, up-to-date clean books in order to be able to have financial health in her business. She was able to communicate that to them. As a result of that, they now saw her once again as an advisor instead of a technician, and she was able to explain why having accurate, up-to-date books mattered. As a result of that, she started charging a minimum of $10,000 for cleanup projects. Even it wasn't a full year of cleanup that needed to be done, but it was because she needed to have them with this really solid financial foundation, up-to-date, accurate books, in order to be able to move forward with what was top of mind and important for her clients. And part of what we did together to come up with her packages. So she came up with a basic, pro, and premium. It's focused on her particular vertical, and they could see based on where they are in their business needs and their journey, which would be a best fit for them. So once again, she was able to do the cleanup project. She priced it for value. These were all already clients that saw her value during the project. They did it. They weren't price sensitive. And she was then able to roll them into a package that was able to meet their needs. And what
we covered
it.
today, yep. Integrate into your firm, kickstart strategy, rise up as a valued advisor. And Lord, you really shared a lot today. What do you have for our accounting professionals that would like to take more, or like to get more, and really take this to the next level?
First of all, I just want to acknowledge you. I know you're busy working in your firm, doing the things to be operational, serve your clients. You took time today to join us to work on your business, to get those insights, to be able to raise the bar as far as the services you offer, the level of client that you're engaging. And if you felt that you got value from our time together, you want to be able to implement this into your firm because you want to work with higher value clients, you want to be able to earn premium pricing for your services, then I put aside some time to have a complimentary path to profit strategy session. It does have a $500 value because it's a dedicated conversation, but it is complimentary because I really want to understand what it is that you want to achieve for your firm. So if that appeals to you, then go to businesssuccesssolution.com/let's talk to be able to get started. And I put that link in the chat as well. So I look forward to having those further conversations. Once again, go to businesssuccesssolution.com/let's talk to get that set up. And thank you so much for joining us. I so appreciate you taking the time to join us today, have this important conversation, and I look forward to future conversations. Lauren Fogelman.
David Fogelman.
Showing accounting firm owners how to double their income, working half the
Half the time.
Take care.
Bye-bye.